What's odd is that despite the largest and most sudden jump in unemployment in Canadian history, it's got to be far larger than the day after the 1929 stock market crash, for example, Trudeau officially announces he's bringing in more foreigners as cheap labor. He specifically says that. He just can't help himself. He just won't shut the borders no matter what. Take a look at this. This is the official guidance issued 2 days ago by the government. It's called Questions and Answers, Labor, Temporary Foreign Workers. How will the government address the workforce labor shortage as a result of the Canadian border being closed? And they say to safeguard the continuity of trade, commerce, health, and food security for all Canadians, temporary foreign workers in agriculture, agri-food, seafood processing, and other key industries will be allowed to travel to Canada under exemptions being put in place to the air travel restrictions that took effect on March 18th. Now, I agree, let's make sure Canada has enough food. But 500,000 Canadians are newly out of work, and foreign workers will still be flown in. Why? So corporations can save an extra couple of dollars an hour? Yes, that's exactly why. Let me read some more. The Government of Canada is also increasing the maximum allowable employment duration for workers in the low-wage stream of the Temporary Foreign Worker Program from 1 to 2 years. This will improve flexibility and reduce the administrative burden for employers, including those in food processing. They say it. They say it specifically to work for cheaper than Canadians do. And they will actually loosen the rules, let foreign workers stay twice as long as before. They just announced this a couple days ago. They're not tightening the borders. They're expressly loosening them, all in the name of cheap labor. The same week, 500,000 Canadian citizens lose their jobs. That's Trudeau's ideology. If you didn't like the open borders in the first place, if you wanted to cut off flights from Wuhan or other places, you were called a racist. That's what they said. Now here comes Patty Hajdu, perhaps the least qualified health minister since Alan Rock, saying if you don't agree with her, get ready for martial law.
When people are playing loose and hard with the rules like this, it does actually put our civil liberties at jeopardy. It makes governments have to look at more and more stringent measures to actually contain people in their own homes. So actually, our freedoms around the measures that we're taking right now depend on people taking them seriously, because politicians and governments will be pushed to a place to take more and more stringent measures when people violate them and don't take this seriously.
Oh, really? Yes, really. Trudeau hinted at the same again today.
We've all seen the pictures online of people who seem to think they're invincible. Well, you're not. Enough is enough. Go home and stay home. This is what we all need to be doing. And we're going to make sure this happens, whether by educating people more on the risks or by enforcing the rules, if that's needed. Nothing that could help is off the table.
And in case that wasn't clear, the CBC state broadcaster, well, they make it even clearer for you. Here's the chief propagandist for the Liberal Party embedded at the CBC, Rosemary Barton, the state broadcaster. She's the one who sued the Conservatives for the CBC in the middle of last election. The CBC even asked Trudeau to go further, to egg him on. Why don't you take away our freedoms? That's really what they asked.
People to stay home and to social distance is not enough. There is mounting evidence of social media, pictures of people packing onto beaches in Vancouver, for example. Why not invoke something stricter like the Emergencies Act? Why not, restrict people's civil liberties to protect their health?
That's so odd. Normally you don't see reporters who live by civil liberties asking for civil liberties to be taken away. But there is all the difference in the world between a journalist and a government journalist. And these days, pretty much all the journalists in Canada are government journalists. I haven't seen much out of the official opposition either, though. I'm not saying to be obstructionist or even to oppose for the sake of opposing. There is a time for unity. But to be a second set of eyes, to look out for people the Liberals don't much care about, to look out for, the people that Conservatives represent in the country, the regions. Have you seen Andrew Scheer lately? Or any other Conservative MPs? I haven't. But the one comment that I have seen is from Rona Ambrose, the former Conservative MP. Give Justin Trudeau the green light to take away our civil liberties. Hang on, now I like Rona. She's not a Conservative MP, though. She's a former MP. She retired. She's not in Parliament. She's not running for the leadership. She was asked to run. She declined. She's retired. But she seems to be speaking for the party. That's at least how it's been taken. And no one in the party seems to be contradicting her, even though she's not in the party as an elected MP or candidate. Giving Trudeau the power to take away our civil liberties, really? Sorry, no thanks. I understand the need to quarantine. And again, I like Rana, but she's staggeringly wealthy by way of a marriage to a great man, J.P. Veitch, great Albertan, great oil man, super guy. I like the two of them. But when they say bring in martial law, they won't have any problem paying the rent. They don't have any rent to pay. They won't have any problem paying the bills, enjoying life with just a few limits. It reminds me a little bit of Madonna, the boomer singer making videos from her luxury bathtub. She's rich. She has a videographer in her bathroom and a set designer with flower petals. That's not real life. Real life is 500,000 people thrown out of work last week. That's an excerpt from my daily show, The Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.